Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on C programming for beginners. In the last video I have shown you what are arrays in C and how to use arrays in C, and I have given you an example how to declare and use single dimensional array. So I have shown you how you can declare an array like this. An array can contain more than one values of same data type in single variable. In a similar way, if you want to declare a multi-dimensional array, you can do it like this. So this is a single dimensional array, and if you want to declare a multi-dimensional array, you can do it like this. For example, you want to declare 2 cross 3 cross 4 for a 3-dimensional array. This is the declaration of 3-dimensional array. Or if you want to declare a 4-dimensional array, you can do it like this. But most simplest form of multi-dimensional array is a 2-dimensional array, and this is how you can declare a 2-dimensional array. So the declaration of 2-dimensional array is like 2 cross 3. Here 2 cross 3. This array, if you can imagine, in the form of a square or a table. So this 2 is like a row for your array and this 3 is like a column numbers of your array. So let's see how we can initialize this array. First of all, just give brackets, and then in these curly braces you can declare your array. So first of all, we will define our row 0. This will be our row 0, and I will just move this up and row 1. Okay. So I will just define 2 rows first because our array contains 2 rows. And then comes the columns. Columns are like straight lines. So for example, 1, 2, 3 are the columns of row 0. And for example, 5, 6, 8 are the columns of row 2. It has 3 columns like 5, 6 and 7. So this is a 2-dimensional array and it contains 2 rows and 3 columns. How it contains 2 rows? So this is the first row. So row 1 of index 0. So this is row 1 logically, but if you terms of C, this will be row 0, right? And this will be row 1 because index of the array starts from 0, and then these are the columns. So first column is for 1 and 5, and second column contains 3 and 6, and third column contains 2 and 8, right? Now in order to iterate over these values, you can use for loop. But a single for loop will not work in this case. So in 2-dimensional array you need to use 2 for loops. So loop inside loop to iterate values inside this array. So for iterating over these values you can do it like this. You can just write our first loop for, and then this for loop will be for the rows. Okay. So I will declare a variable I or int I is equal to 0, and this will be I will be less than 2, which is number of rows. These are the number of rows you have. And then we will write I++, which is our increment operator, and inside this for loop we will declare one more for loops. So inside this curly braces of this for loop we will declare one more for loop. So this for loop will be for columns. So for int j is equals to 0 and j should be less than number of rows. So in our case the number of rows is equal to 3, right? We will just write j is less than 3 and then j++. So this is loop inside the loop to iterate values. So first loop will iterate over the rows and second loop will iterate over the columns. In order to print all the values inside your column for loop, this loop you can just write printf and then the name of your array, that is this one, just inside the brackets. Just write this and then just write %d here and then %d over here. It is equal to, it should be %d, right? And this should be equal to %d. So this will be the value of an array, and we will also print the index of the array. So here it will show row and it will show the columns here. So we have rows over here and rows are iterated by I, right? So I will just write I over here and then comma, and since the columns are iterated by j, so just write j over here and the values can be iterated by your array index. So just write the name of your array and then the value which is row indicator and value of j which is your column indicator, right? Just give this next line here so that it will iterate every time in the next line. I will just compile and run this program and it says that program contains some problem. Let's see what the problem is over here. Yes, I think this curly braces extra is over here. This should be removed, and again I will just compile and run our program. So as you can see, the program runs and it prints rows and index of the array, right? So at the 0th row and 0th column we have value 1 which is true. So it says at 0th row and 0th column. At row 0 and column we have value 3. This is row 0. So row 0 is this one and column 1. So 0 and column 1 value is 3. That's correct. Row 0 column 2 is this one and 0 1 2. So this is the value which is correct here. Now comes row 1 which is this row. Column 0 which is this value which is 5. It will print all values of your two-dimensional array. So in this way you can iterate over your array using two for loops. So this is the simplest kind of multi-dimensional array and it's called two-dimensional array. In a similar way, if you want to declare some other two-dimensional array with some other dimension, you can do it like this. For example, array must contain 3 rows. You can just do it like this. So row 1, that is 0 and 1 we have, and we will just write the row 3rd, or by index it's row 2, right? And this is row 2 now. So you can do it like this. So I hope you understood the basic concept of multi-dimensional array in C programming.